How you doing? Howdy.
How you doing?
Uh-oh.
Howdy.
There we go. How's everyone? Hope everything's good. Hope everything's grand. We'll get started in like 20 minutes or so. Thank you, Carrie. But I wanted to say first that I'm good, Super Truthful. That we have a topic. Wait 1 second. Let me check something. There we go. So the topic today is, do you believe that a business should be sterile and neutral and stay out of politics and social discussions and discord? Or do you think they should use their platform to um, promote their message or their beliefs? Now, let me say this first, though. Actually, I'll hold that until we get started. That way, I know whoever's in here is going to be in here. But anyway. We'll get started eventually. And all those who had decks that won from the giveaway, they went out today. I have one that did not go out because they can't find the address. So I'll try again some other time. And I still have one deck to give away, but I'll do that one sometime later. Hi, Love Wins. The call-in number, it'll flash whenever I open it up, because I have to dial into it first and then I'll be able to bring it up. There's two topics, actually. After we do one, I'll do one more for those who want to call in. I figured since I'm not doing readings that I can use the background, because I can't use the background when I do the cards because the cards don't show up very well. So I figure since we're not doing readings today, then I can use that. I am good, Love Wins. How are you doing? It does. It was the light. Well, yeah, you're right. It all reflects. Disney World just opened this morning. Yes, it did. I seen Disney is over party on Twitter yesterday. People is having it and not having it all at the same time. People still want to go on vacation. Like my area is vacation hub, so there's plenty of people here. There's plenty of people here. As good as the pie. It's a lot of people still coming here. Texas, Georgia, Alabama, Oklahoma, Tennessee. They're still because they want to go to the beach and there you go. Yes, Adrian. Did you just join? I said earlier today. I sent out the decks. The people won all except for one, but you weren't it. It was someone else. But yeah, the decks went out today. I got something from the thing though. I got two packages. Let's open them while we wait. I can't use a knife on YouTube. Can I use a knife on YouTube without them thinking I'm trying to murder something? I don't know. Do it off camera by that. Let's see. Thank you, Jennifer. So what is this? Cedar wood. Oh, it's a candle. Oh, okay. Well, let's see what y'all say then. We will see what y'all say. Oh Lord. I'll leave that there. that that deck has got bad words in it. We'll see. That's very funny though. Yeah, it's extremely hot out here. I know. So I wasn't supposed to show that. That's what I used to walk to work with in the dark. So yeah, I had to have one. A COVID deck? Yeah, I'm not buying that. That's for sure. uh-uh. Oh Lord, they're slippery. We shall see. Yeah, a lot of people say that GGB. Y'all want to get started? Give me 1 second. Okay, now you can hear me. User error, that's all it was. So now give me a second. Okay, there it is. That's the number should you want to call in. Okay, before you get started, let's get something straight first. I'm not asking if you think that a company that agrees with you should use their platform. I'm asking if you believe companies, period, should use their platform um, for their political or personal views. Thank you, Carol. Not if you agree with it, just should a company do it? Because kind of like the discussion we were having last week on the bird watching situation, the Karen lady, Amy Cooper, to where if she gets to have rehabilitation and a slap on the wrist, then everybody should. So should Amazon, who supports Black Lives Matter, should they be able to use their platform for a social message, or should they remain sterile too? The same with Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A donating to anti-LGBT causes and things like that. So just because you disagree, I'm not asking if you disagree. I'm asking if companies should be able to use their platform to push forth their message. That's what I'm asking. Only to fire Karens. So you're saying they should? Okay. All right, you're on. So tell me what you think.
Hey, I think this. If you are in a position of power, you have exactly that right to do whatever you feel like you need to do. But with that being said, you have to um, accept the consequences, whether they be good or bad. That's what I. That's just what I feel.
Now, do you believe they have an obligation to say something?
Yes, I do. Um, because it can't be tolerated anymore. It's really the universe wants change, and it's going to have change whether people like it or not. So, um, absolutely, if you have a platform to do that, you absolutely should. You should speak up. You should speak out against those things. Say, hey, this is not tolerated. This is not tolerated, and there are consequences uh, if you do so. Uh, do something that's not right. Um, us regular people, we don't have that. We don't have that luxury a lot of the time because we go to work to get the check. But when you have people that actually write the check, that puts them in a whole different field. So instead of you get tens of thousands of people marching, you got one person that holds the strings to everything that can make all this stuff better. So absolutely, if you're in a position of power, yes, you absolutely should speak up. That's just how I feel.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
So let's go to for instance, Hobby Lobby. They don't want to um, pay for contraception. So their not political view, but their personal view or political view, however you want to put it, is at the forefront. Um, their their belief system is their belief system. So should they be crucified for that? What if your belief system is something you wanted to push forth? Because I can't say that they're right or wrong, it's their belief. Your belief is your belief. Somebody can come in and say, hey, I don't like that you believe in, 7 days a week. So so should I be able to then boycott you? So just like you said, there are consequences to these things. Well, let's go to the next person. You're on. Tell me what you think.
Hi. I feel like there is a difference in whether the company has a mission statement, like you were saying, Chick-fil-A. That's pretty much their policy and their mission statement. But other than that, when an individual, the owner, comes out and says something, I feel like he has a perfect right to do that as an owner, but not as part of his company. He should not put forth his opinions in the company name unless it's included in the company's mission statement.
Okay. Now, do you believe, like for instance, there is Goya, that this is the new story in the news now. He runs a
Right.
company with can cut company where they make a bunch of stuff. But he said, bless, the US is blessed to have Trump. And so since primarily his customer base is Hispanic, this is obviously a bad thing. But should he be able to say that without his company being drug into it? So you say he should be able to, as long as it's not a part of his company?
I feel like he should be able to, just as the civil right of a person having an opinion. And he didn't say that as Goya's statement. He said that as his personal statement.
Right.
But where I think he was wrong is that he said it on a platform where his company, was out front. I mean, he was there representing, his company in the business world, and he made that sort of statement. So there he's wrong. But if he wants to, talk at a social event or a business event or something like that and say that, that is his right. But it's also our right to completely disagree with his, bullshit views and not buy his product. So, I mean, we still want to live in a civilized society. So I think that he does have that right, but not when he's representing his company. If his political views were part of his mission statement of his company, then, that's different.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks. Love your channel.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. I think that if you want to say whatever you want to say on your own personal time, great. My problem comes in because I've worked for a company that has had this happen, is the boycotts, yes, they hurt the bottom line, and if you're a publicly traded company, they'll hurt there. What the problem is, when the boycott happens, then the stores, not good that the Goya is a store, but the boycott happens. Then the store that I work for gets less business. Less business means less money means less hours means less money I get. Because this person at the top decided they wanted to come out and, be in politics all of a sudden. So when you represent the company, you do have to toe the line, but it sounds like it's kind of like a personal thing. I just think you need to leave. Okay, let me ask this. Let me ask it this way too. This is why I want to know, should they be sterile? Taco Bell had an employee that had a mask on that said Black Lives Matter on the outside of the mask. Now, as a social change, people are in favor of the Black Lives Matter. But if you are going in to get food, should you be subjected to a political or social statement? For another instance, I go down here it was a barbecue place that's not too far from me. And the guy, he wasn't checking anybody out, but he was walking around in the back. He has his MAGA hat on. So should I then, be disgruntled because he has on this hat, and he was like 19, which made me kind of cringe a little bit, just a personal aside, because he's too young to be brainwashed already. But anyway, that's beside the point. He had a MAGA hat on. So should he not have his MAGA hat on, and should you not have your Black Lives Matter mask on? Because Taco Bell said that's not part of the dress code. So since it's not part of the dress code, it's part of the dress code. They just didn't want him to be political because they were all wearing masks. So it's not like he had something on that he wasn't supposed to. He had something on that said something that it wasn't supposed to. So should it just be sterile? Should you just have uniform on, no political this, no political that? I know when I worked for Barnes & Noble, I used to go to work with my Obama bracelets on. Nobody said anything, but should it be sterile? Should it just be sterile? I walk in, I do the business, then I leave. Not walk in and see your MAGA hat and your Black Lives Matter and your, whatever. Unless your business is about that. Like if I go into a religious store and you have it across, then I can't get upset. But should I be able to go in somewhere and the person behind the counter has on something that is not sterile, that does not go with just the business? So another question I do have for those who want to answer this one too is, do emotions belong at work? Should you, and this stems from a conversation from a lady, she has, her board meetings and they can get a little blunt at times. It stems from her saying, if you have to cry, go outside. So do emotions belong at work? Should you be able to feel when you are at work, or should you also be a sterile person? Like you should handle your emotions on the outside, like they say, don't take your home to work. So should you be a sterile person as well? That's what I want to know. Yes, you should provide them with masks if you don't want them to wear the ones they have at home. But if I'm some, if I'm some, I won't call them racist because you don't have to be racist not to like Black Lives Matter. But if I am a person who thinks that Black Lives Matter is disgruntled because I follow Trump and Fox News all day, and I walk into a place where I think it is just about food, not politics, not religion, nothing personal. I just want a taco for 49 cents. And I walk in there and I'm subjected to your personal belief, should I have to be. If the boss says it's sterile, then it's sterile. But then we had people push back because right now social change is a real thing. People push back on Taco Bell and saying, Taco Bell, you were wrong for not letting this child wear this mask. And then that prompted me saying, should they just be sterile? But, should they? Not always. Where'd it go? Taco Bell. You can get them for 49 cents sometimes. But do your emotions belong outside? Should you be able to break down in tears at work? Because that can be distracting for some, or it can be like the beacon to others because you're still a person. But we need you to also be functional. Now, this guy, would you go and usually I will assume that if you're over here, then you really wouldn't wear a MAGA hat. But if somebody asked you to, would you wear or if you walked in somewhere and someone had one on, would it be a big deal to you? Hello.
Hi,
Tell me what you think.
Johnny.
Yes, ma'am.
Emotions at work. I don't think you can get away from having emotions at work. They are feelings and they're there. The trick is to be able to pick up on them. And if somebody's getting a little tense, give them a wink, diffuse it, and get on with the business.
So you're saying it's okay as long as you can come out of it. Like if you have a lingering emotion, then maybe not.
I'm being distracted with hearing my cell phone. Okay, let's go through this again.
So you're saying that if they can come out of whatever's upsetting them, then okay.
As long as they don't make a big scene. You know, if they lose it completely, then somebody needs to take them aside and take them out of the conference room or the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
You know, take them to a private place and find out what's going on.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I really enjoy your show.
Thank you.
Keep smiling, kiddo.
I will.
Bye.
So, but would a MAGA hat bother you should you walk in and see one? Like, it's different if they come into you, but if you went into a place and seen a MAGA hat on an employee, does that cause you to not want to shop there, eat there, whatever? You know, I have had situations where, and this is why I also, this is why I also said about the emotions, where people break down and they have all the issues in the world and they can't come out of it. And therefore, they have just been debilitated. So should you do your best to make sure you don't take emotions to work? Or you're a person. It's not like you're not going to feel anything ever. See, that's me, Ms. May. Like, you have it on. Like, I, from the beginning, I didn't want to see that hat and make it have a visceral reaction because, you know, I didn't want to like lose my crap in the midst of civilized society. But do you get to show emotions at work? See, that's a little different. If somebody's bothering you, then that's a reaction. I mean, just walking in, do you leave your home at the door and then leave your work at the door? Type of thing. Hello?
Hey, Johnny. I really think that emotions at work are not a great idea. I mean, you were hired for a special reason to do a job, and I feel like that's what you should be doing. It's just your job. Your personal emotions shouldn't come into play there. If you want to have a social hour or meet employees after work, then that's a different story. And as far as wearing the caps and stuff, I mean, I have a real-time example back during Clinton days, early in my career. You know, I had a Clinton sign in my office. The person across the hall had a, whoever the hell he ran against, sign in his office. And I really felt like, you know, when we had to collaborate on a project, because I knew his views and they were, you know, strong views and he voiced them, I really had problems with collaboration. So it did spill over into our work. So that's just, I guess, my only reason that I feel like that should all be kept out. And I don't want to know if my next door neighbor is getting a divorce and listening to them cry all day. You know, I mean, you have to leave some things at the door. And that's my opinion on that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye.
Yeah. Because I will say from my years and years and years, I've done retail for 21, 22, whatever years. And when I walk in the door, I have to be the company. People, when you go in stores, and probably a whole bunch of y'all have done this, when you walk in stores, you will say the word y'all like that or you all or why do you guys, like that person you're talking to owns that whole company. I got that my whole time in retail. Why y'all keep raising the prices? If it was up to me, all this would be free. So I'm just not y'all raising the price. So it's when you go into those stores, they expect you to be the company. You have to be sterile. You have to be that person. You have to be the hallmark of that company. When you go home, then you can be at home. But when you come in here, you represent us. When you got your name tag on and all that, you represent us. So we don't need you, sitting in the parking lot in a tear bath. So I get it because I've always had to do it. It doesn't matter what you feel. When you come in here, you're on my dime. So this is why I say, do you believe that you should also be sterile or should you be a human? Because you are still a human. And should your business also be sterile, especially if it's asking you to be? If it's asking you to be neutral, if you can't go into Chick-fil-A with your rainbow flag stuff on, then should they also stay out? Hello.
Hi, Johnny.
Hi.
When you were talking about emotions at the job, well, I work for a hospital, and you do have to have some type of emotions for the patients that we take care of. But I've been working for a job for 27 years, so whatever is going on in my personal life, I leave that out the door so I can be focused on the patient and the patient's family. Now, also at my job, we are not allowed to wear any political shirts, t-shirts, hats. You only wear the logo of the hospital only. So, because we have, newer employees come in and they have stuff on their shirt, and the boss might tell them, so you can't wear that shirt. You have to get our shirt. You either wear our shirt, or you can go home. So they try to keep that out of the hospital where I guess make somebody upset or anything like that. We try to leave all of that stuff out of the hospital. But I really think that you shouldn't wear. I mean, it's important to express your opinion on how you feel politically.
But on your own time.
When you're at your job, it depends on your job. It depends on if they say you can wear it, then I guess you can wear it. It depends on what the rules are there. But I really don't think you should wear that. Because it might make somebody feel uncomfortable. I mean, it's just like last week there was a man. He was at Costco. And now this don't really kind of have nothing to do with it, but he ended up getting fired because he didn't want to put on the mask. And he was hollering at the lady, and he worked for a big insurance company. But the insurance company came out and said that we are part of this community, and we do not represent the views of our employees. So he got fired. So it depends on what's in the contract that you sign with that company. Because I know with my company, even though I'm at home, if I see something that an elderly person is getting abused or a child, I have to report that. I have to report that by law in my contract. So people need to read their contract, what the job is, what the job say is okay, what is not okay, because you're working for, especially when you're working for, I work for a very large company, very large company. So it really depends on what the company is expecting you to do and how to behave when you're there and when you're not.
Mhm.
So that's my spin on it, Johnny.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, love you, Johnny.
Love you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So you do represent your company. Hi, roses and bees. I got your candle. Thank you very much. Um, well, the live chats, MULU, we are discussing whether a company should be sterile of personal and political views, and whether a person should be sterile of personal feelings. So, should you be able to display your feelings at work, whether it is whatever kind of emotion, should you also be sterile? Should your business be sterile? Should it be taking back from like Hobby Lobby and contraception, like Chick-fil-A and LGBT, like Goya and Donald Trump, like Amazon, YouTube, and Black Lives Matter? Should you be sterile, or should you be able to say something? Because let's go back again. When it's something we like, then we all say yes. Use your play, just like celebrities. Every time something happens, they want celebrities to come out and say something. But when it's something we don't like, then we have some sort of issue with it. Like Goya, for instance, saying we're blessed to have Trump, which I understand. I understand. No, I don't. I mean, your customer base is primarily Hispanic, Latino. And you come out and say, we're blessed to have Donald Trump. I'm very tickled. Black Lives Matter is not political. It needs to be. Here's the problem with the protest. It does not need to be a protest forever. Protests don't do anything for you but raise your social voice. It needs to be a movement, which means you need to get out of the street and into the courtroom and make a law change somewhere, some way, somehow. So it does need to be political at some point. The civil rights movement was not just a protest, it was a movement. It became political when they went and got stuff done on a political scale. So no, you are right, it is not a political movement, but it does need some politics involved, at least right now. That way, 3 weeks from now, we're not marching about the same thing over and over again, is what I'm saying. But you are right. That's what I'm saying, Sandra. Like, I get it. I'm trying to be very neutral with this, like, because your opinion's your opinion. I'm not here to tell you it's right or wrong. But Goya, like, come on, like, what we doing right now? But protests and boycotts, they do work. So this is what prompted, should we remain sterile? Now, I have another question. I posted a while back, and Shepard Smith is going to C or not MSNBC, CNBC, I believe. All these letters. CNBC. He was at Fox News for like 20 years. And a lot of you said that, well, he called Trump out on a whole bunch of stuff, and he's not really a Fox News person. And so I want to know what y'all think on that. Do you think, like I said, once a fox, always a fox? Or is this just, it was a job? And he did his part in his show because he didn't really toe the Fox line. He said things that that were kind of anti-Fox at times, or anti-Fox mission statement. Or do you think once a fox, always a fox? That's what I want to know. Because to me, if you work there, then at some point you believed there. It was not necessarily a I don't like the way y'all think, so I'm out type of deal, like we kept saying about the MAGA hat, to where you go in, you see it, you leave. So will he be accepted because he didn't like Trump, but he was still on Fox News? So once a fox, always a fox? Or since he was not really a fox, go along to get along person, do you accept that he can just move on and it was just a job? Or like Sandra, guilt by association? What do you think? Yes, Linda, that's what I said. I think you should be sterile. I don't need to know what the head of your company thinks. Like, I don't at all. I never see you anyway, so I don't need to know what you're not in there operating cash registers and flipping burgers. So I don't need to know what you think. Chick-fil-A. It's just at Walmart. I don't need to know where you stand on these type of things. Just sell stuff and move on. But then again, this is why I asked the question, Gemini Mind. They have a big platform. So should they be able to use that platform and say what they want to say? That was my question. Hello.
Hey, it's Jen.
Hi.
So I wanted to comment on the workplace politics.
Yes, ma'am.
Every job when I worked in corporate America for the last 20 years made me sign an ethics form stating that I would not talk about politics or anything controversial, or I could be fired. So if I, as an employee, have to sign that, then I don't want to hear my boss talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Me either.
I just wanted to put that out there. It's like that's a part of equal opportunity employment and the laws that we have for that. So if I'm not allowed to talk politics at work, if I'm not allowed to talk about LGBTQ rights or Black Lives Matter or anything, I don't want to hear my boss talking about it.
You are right, man.
Because I could lose my job when I worked in corporate America if I did that, because every year they made us renew it and sign it again. Every company I've worked at in the last 20 years.
For you to be sterile, but they didn't have to be.
Right.
Yeah.
So just had to share my 2 cents. Hey, everybody.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, that's a good point. If I have to be sterile, you should be too. Hello.
Hi. So the chef guy, CNBC, I was very disappointed that he was hired, just because I feel like he's not a man of integrity. I mean, he was either lying then or he's lying now. You really don't know who he is. So I was disappointed in that hiring. If he's going to post himself in any way in an opinion style show, then what can you believe? You know, so if he's just going to read news off a teleprompter, you know, okay, I might could tolerate it, but I am very disappointed in his tirade.
Because it would be by script. But you're saying if he has an opinion show, then where do you really stand? Because
well, then you're not. You know, it depends on what CNBC wants to put out as their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But even if he follows the CNBC line, like he follows the Fox line, then what can you believe? How can you believe his opinion?
Yeah.
Because you don't really know who he is.
Once a fox, always a fox, you say.
I think so.
Huh? Thank you.
Okay.
Because I will say for me, I'm not on Shepard Smith, but on for like it was two ladies. One was Greta, the other one was who? I forget. But once you go there and you work there, does it taint you forever? Because that's not news. It's propaganda TV. And so if you work for propaganda TV and then all of a sudden you don't, should we believe that you are reformed or that it was just a job? Because that could be too. It could just be a job. It was not really something they care too much about. It was three of them then. Yeah, I forgot about Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly, Greta, and it was another one. But is it just a job? And Meghan McCain. And see, she too was a Fox News person, but so was Jedediah Bila. She was a Fox News person. I didn't dislike her. I mean, we didn't have anything in common until it got to these sort of the little kitschy topics. Abby, yes, like Jedediah she sounded like a person. Megan sounds like a talking point, and Abby sounds like a talking point. They were basically trying to just get under your skin to just whatever. But Jedediah, she had her talking points too, but she sounded like a person. And so I didn't dislike her. I didn't have a visceral reaction to her like I kind of do like a Ann Coulter or somebody. But Fox News does tend to taint. So do you think that Shepard Smith, since he at times was not on script with the Fox and Friends and Tuckers of the world, do you think that he can go elsewhere and still be credible? Or is he tainted forever? See, GGB, that's if you work there for a minute, okay. If you stay there for 20 years, which I think he was there for at some time, then how do you say that that person's not a Fox? But again, when it came down to this administration, he apparently did not go along to get along, and so he had to get out. But what do you think? Yeah, I could stand Jedediah. I think Megan. He still has the fox hook in his mouth. Okay. Bye, Surfer Noise. Good studying. Oh. It kind of is, Jules. It is kind of sadistic, evil puppet show. It really kind of is. Because you have the two Dumb and Dumber sitting here, and it's always some basic, not to be mean, but basic nondescript white lady with blonde hair and this and her legs crossed because she's always has to wear a dress. She can't wear a pantsuit. Yeah, he's been there since what, the 90s, I believe. Hi, Ange. I used to work in a place until we stopped that, where the early morning people would always have Fox News on. And eventually somebody complained that I'm not coming in here every day and this stuff is on. So turn it on, Dancing with the Stars or something neutral that's, has nothing to do with politics. And then, you'll be fine. Quote Tessa, the topic is, should a business be sterile of political and personal views? And do you think Shepard Smith is still a Fox? Like, he was at Fox News, once a Fox, always a Fox, or was it just a job? Yeah. That is the one thing that Disney did not buy, was Fox News. And that and something else, like Fox News and Fox Business or something like that. They bought everything. They bought Fox Entertainment. Yes, she came from there too, didn't she? The Kelly Ann lady, or whatever her name is. Thank you, Joanne. Fox Views. There you go. Yeah, Shepard Smith is going to CNBC, I do believe. I think it is an opinion show for 1 hour. I do believe, if I am not mistaken, but I forget. Hello.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. Tell me what you think.
About Fox News?
Anything.
I thought Disney bought Fox News.
Disney bought Fox Entertainment. They didn't buy Fox News.
Oh, because they had said they were going to make a lot of changes as far as the newscaster lineup. So
they bought
I guess they just
20th. They bought 20th Century Fox, which owns a whole bunch of other stuff, but they left out Fox News and one other thing.
Or could it have been because of all the lawsuits?
It's probably because it's. Well, I won't give my opinion. You tell me what you think.
Yeah. Well, because remember that Roger Ailes and then so many. So maybe that's why.
Now, do you think that Shepard Smith was just doing it for a job, or do you think he is still a Fox person?
Yeah, well, he's still a Fox person. They seem to take it to heart, all of them. I noticed Nicole, what's her name, Killian, or
Nicole
the
Wallace?
sister that used to work over there. Now she's at the White House.
Oh,
But is she still with Fox News? I don't think so. She was the only one I ever watched over there.
okay.
You know, because they could put them all. Well, never mind. Censored.
Thank you.
Never mind all that. When are we taking our stroll to the beach again? I enjoyed that. You got to learn to go with folk. I got so I had a mommy moment.
Well, I'm not going to the beach.
That's called a mother moment.
We'll
where
see.
I just panic. I said, "Oh, you're walking by yourself."
I gotta. That's why I carry a big stick. It'll be all right. Thank you.
Yeah, now that Roger Stone is commuted, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll all be all right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We'll see.
Oh,
Thank you, ma'am.
I was trying to find and then I'll let you go. I was trying to find the show where you laid out everything right in a row. Remember that? What was going to happen?
Oh, that was 2 days ago, I do believe.
No, that was a long time ago.
Well, yeah, a long time ago I did it, but I redid it 2 days ago.
Oh, you did?
Yes, ma'am. In a live stream, though.
Oh, I see.
The live stream is called Broadcast. Should you want to go look it up?
Okay, yeah, because remember you said something about something was going to happen that he wasn't expecting. He didn't see beforehand, or something like that. You said.
I don't remember either, so I can't help you.
You can. Well, thanks so much for taking my call.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, don't be trying to shave all your hair off every place trying to look younger. I see you.
Lord. Thank you, ma'am.
Anyway, I enjoy all you guys. Jen and Becca notified everybody the Supreme Court decision right away. She's like a little kid, I think. You guys just really make us all happy because I'm telling you, if you live in the real world, it's pretty stressful out here.
I can. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye. Yes, Disney is opening today, I believe. So that should be interesting. Profits over people sometimes. But that's not our business. And when you think about business, you cannot be closed forever. There's still a lot of money that's tied up in that place. I wouldn't open it, sure, but like I said, thank you, Asia. You can't be closed forever. Not to mention, if you didn't close the grocery stores and the essential businesses, so there was still stuff open. It's not like, people. Anyway, I ain't going down that road. I don't even care anymore to talk about COVID-19. It starts something I don't feel like talking about. Okay. Where are we? 12:45. Do I have another question? I do not. So thank y'all for coming out. Thank y'all for all those who called. Yeah, DeSantis is, I can't, and I'm not going there either. Thank y'all for coming out. Thank y'all for calling in, sharing your opinions and your thoughts and concerns and things. What is today? You know, I lose all my days. Today is Saturday. I thought today was Friday. What happened to Friday? Didn't I just say it was Thursday? Sweet Mary and Joseph. So what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to cut this off. And then I will, no, I'm not coming back because I got, okay, never mind. I was going to do another live stream, but I can't because I got to do something else. So I will see y'all tomorrow then on Jen's channel, where we will have our Sunday live stream there. Until then, y'all take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Don't be mean. Don't be nasty. Don't be surly. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. Good day.